where, according to reports, Ukraine said that Russian attacks have claimed the lives of at least 8 civilians and injured more than 40 others, including children, over the past 24 hours. Russian forces launched 324 Shahed-type attack drones, along with other drones, 4 Kh-101 cruise missiles and 3 Kinzhal aeroballistic missiles overnight, primarily targeting the town of Starkovskaya in Kermenshky in the Oblast region, which has an Ukrainian airbase located in it. Although Ukrainian air defences intercepted most of the incoming attacks, some missiles and drones still hit residential and civilian areas. In Kiev, a Russian drone struck an apartment building in the Darnovsky district, injuring 8 people, including a 3-year-old. Meanwhile, in the Dnipropetrovsk, 3 civilians, including a minor, were injured in separate attacks. Casualties were also reported in Donetsk, Kherson and Sumy oblasts, with one tragic incident near Yunakivka, where a Russian drone struck a bus, killing 3 and injuring 19 evacuees. We're now joined by Joshua Barnes, who's an anchor and correspondent. He's here to give us more context. What more can you tell us, Josh?
Well, yes, absolutely, Thomas. The situation on the ground is still difficult across a lot of Ukraine. You detailed there a lot of the regions that have seen drone and missile activity in the past 24 hours. This is a theme that has been consistent throughout recent weeks and months of the war. Of course, fighting on the battlefield still ongoing, with thousands of deaths being reported each week in a battle between 2 nations which doesn't seem to be stopping. Of course, geopolitical efforts and global efforts for peace have persisted. There have been 3 rounds of direct peace talks between Ukraine and Russia in recent months. That was the first time in over 3 years that the 2 countries had sent delegations to sit down and speak about this conflict that is having impacts on both sides of the border. Of course, efforts towards a peace deal are there. The US have been a key part in discussions, as have Western European nations, mostly in support for Ukraine. But the status quo is remaining. It is, of course, a conversation that we have almost daily here on NewsX World about strikes being reported from both sides. It's not just Russia that are striking Ukraine in this conflict. Ukraine are also striking the other way too, with civilian casualties reported by either country at what seems to be a regular rate. The situation is a concerning one, of course. People living in Ukraine, in the capital Kyiv, as well as regions in the east and the west, spending nights in shelters. It has become the norm for many living in Ukraine to be hearing sirens through the nights and making their way into shelters, makeshift shelters, underground facilities as well. It is an extremely tough time. The humanitarian aspect, of course, is something that does need to be looked at, but diplomacy is the key route forward here. Questions have been raised by Western leaders as to whether Russia wants peace. We know, and we've had reports from Russia themselves, that they continue to make ground on the battlefield. Some experts we've had on the programme say that there's no incentive for Vladimir Putin to end this war while his country and his army is advancing. The status quo remains, civilian casualties and civilian deaths being reported weekly. A disturbing situation for those living inside of the country, but diplomacy will need to prevail if that is to stop. Currently, no progress has been made towards a proper ceasefire.
Joshua, thank you very much for that context.